Man's YouTube channel. Oh, what are you waiting for? What's happening? What's happening, good people? How are you guys doing out there? Y'all know what time it is. Let me turn my microphone. I'm all like, I sound like I'm like in an echo chamber. What's happening, good people? How you guys doing out there? Y'all know who it is, right? It's me, the one and only, your homegirl, Ladosha Wright, aka Key Lolo. And we are 16 episodes in. So you think you can do hair, and y'all know who it is right here? That's right. It's the one and only Cheryl Morrow, aka how you doing, boo? The hair oracle. I saw her turn her head, so I was like, oh wait, I could do that too. Bam, strike a pose. All right. So how's everything going in sunny, beautiful California?
Wonderful. I mean, it's hot.
It's hot. It's hot everywhere.
As long as we just need a fan.
Right.
Once it gets right. Because once it gets to the air conditioning level, it's like, ugh.
Yeah. So today we're gonna be down a little bit. Then it's gonna pick back up here in Cleveland. But my allergies are just like I was sharing with Cheryl before we went live that I went to the doctor yesterday. Like, help me! They were like, get out of here. Yeah. So it's that time of the year. But how they said, this too shall pass. But this topic tonight is, this morning or this afternoon is not one you would want to pass on, especially if you are a barber, a cosmetology, a nail tech, or a student of aesthetics. Then this is the topic for you. Actually, this is probably the podcast that I've been looking forward to the most.
Really?
Yeah, it is. Because as a salon owner, I see this behavior kind of permeating throughout the culture of the barber, beauty, nail industry. And so I just think that it's going to be worth taking a deep dive into so that we can delineate. And the topic of our 16th episode is the hustler versus the professional. So yeah, that's a hot topic, and it's one that I really want to take a deep dive into. And when I'm doing these types of all of the podcasts, I like to go on the internet and kind of see what are they talking about. Am I off kilter when I come up with these topics? And so one did pop up. Actually, they I think it's the IBS hair show is happening in New York real soon.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I think it's going to be happening. It's coming up. And so American Salon, which I subscribe to the online magazine, here is what they have. What's happening, Vaughn, the beautician? I think you are going to enjoy this topic here. And this is what they had as a topic, actually, that's going to be featured, believe it or not, inside the IBS. Here it is right here, Cheryl. Bam. How hustle culture can tank the beauty industry. Wow. Yeah. And so this particular young lady who wrote the article, it's very compelling. And it talks about how she had to pretty much revamp her whole career because she was working so much. She, had some addiction issues. She was mixing her extracurriculum, weed activities and drinking activities and party activities with her career. Mm-hmm. And she kind of lost focus because she was, in that hustle. And this is a climate of work, hustle, grind, or wake, hustle, grind. You see that everywhere. So let's get into that topic of grinding. If you listen to the clips, then y'all know all about that grinding. So what's your thoughts on the wake hustle or just the hustle grind and all about the Benjamins and as P. Diddy would say, F the frail shit, huh? We gonna make it. We gonna make it. We gonna make it. So that's part of that
Yeah.
hustle by all means necessary. I'm gonna get this money and I'm about these coins and I'm gonna do what I have to do. If I gotta blow a little hydro or a little weed,
Mm.
if I gotta drink a little douce or duce, however you pronounce it, if I gotta get a little henny, I gotta go to a couple of clubs so I can, get out there because that is part of the culture in the barber beauty industry. So what are your thoughts about the whole concept of hustler, hustler, hustler?
One, it's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. And it does lack two things that you need for a career. Hustle is about the results you get from a specific industry, or you try to exploit a certain industry. It is
Wait,
void.
hold on. Did you say exploit? Sure, you always coming with the okey doke. Now, so hustling or hustlers, they exploit the barber and beauty industry. Before you go any further, you got to break that down because Key Lolo, I'm a hustler. I'm the best stylist of that. Ask about.
Right. Absolutely. But let's just be honest. And I've never hustled in anything, so I mean, I'm not an expert on hustling.
Hmm.
But I know that I have had many colleagues who have approached their careers like that, and they didn't last long. It's very taxing on your energy when you do it that way, because your means to an end is just money,
Hmm.
and you just, and then it also is very taxing because you focus on doing something for the money and not being something for the money.
Hmm. Doing something for the money and being something for the money. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this particular podcast is for, it's pretty much geared towards the students, the school owners, and the instructors.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got Vaughn the beautician in the chat saying, well, we can't hustle, then how are we going to get out there? Because I have some friends and family members who work in the industry
Mm-hmm.
and they are feeling the back, to me, it's like the backlash
Mm-hmm.
of the hustle
Mm-hmm.
mode because that's a persona that's larger than life to me. A
Yeah.
hustler in the industry is not one that you can live up to for a very long time. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to say because of age.
Yeah.
Because you could be the hottest thing smoking, and I don't mean chronological age. I mean age in the industry. So you could be the newest, the hottest,
Mm-hmm.
thing, and you're all, got your followers, you're all in the newspapers. It's kind of like an entertainer, that
Yeah.
fall from grace. So
Right.
that's what I see in the hustler. So is that an okay modality to kind of wet your whistle, so to speak? To kind of shine a light on you, or the squeaky wheel gets the attention type of thing. Can you
Mm-hmm.
start off as a hustler?
I don't know. I don't know if we understand what a hustler is.
Okay, come on, Shaniqua. Come on here, Oracle. What's up,
Right.
Theo, in the chat?
Right. Um, a hustler is not a person who does something and we separate it from, we think a hustler only brings energy. You can bring energy and vitality, right? And determination and perseverance to anything and not be a hustler,
Mm-hmm.
right? A hustler is one who approaches doing something and wanting to give little but get a lot out of it. Okay. And when I say give, I don't mean work. What I'm talking about contribute. So let's say I get into and I want to be a psychologist, right?
Okay.
And I want to focus on a specific demographic and I want to contribute and I become a person of well service, integrity, and I know my value and I'm going to give value. The saying is if you don't like what you're getting, change what you're giving.
Hmm.
And so hustlers want to get maximum, but with doing little for it.
Now,
For
when you say do,
mm-hmm,
um, because remember this is for students, can you
absolutely.
define what is a hustler doing
Mm-hmm,
where that demonstrates you only giving a little, but you want the maximum by means of
right,
coins?
right. You want to compete as being the best hair cutter. Well, being the best hair cutter is so relative that it really doesn't define who you are as a professional. Doesn't have anything to do with anything. So if you think that you're going to use these and cut and then put so much energy, that hustle energy, and like I said before, that is not sustainable because that you're eventually going to get tired. You are so if somebody put it this way, if somebody opens at 6 a.m. and they close at 4 p.m., but
Mm-hmm.
you start at 11 you're in there to 9 o'clock at night, you're not winning.
Hmm.
Right?
But now to the hustler, this
They
is
are
time
right.
because
They actually think they are.
I get
Right.
to call the shots because I'm not. I mean, these cats out here, they
Mm-hmm,
ain't giving. These customers ain't giving.
mm-hmm,
So I gotta get. Well, as Too Short would say, I gotta get it while the getting is good. So
right.
maybe the hustler's persona is, and I'm talking like this because
Mm-hmm,
I work in the industry, and so I hear the female hustlers, I hear the male hustlers, I hear them all. The
right.
drag, the you name it, the LGBT. I mean, I
Right.
hear
Absolutely.
every aspect of hustling. And so one of the things that I hear a lot is that there is some discontent, with the customer,
Mm-hmm,
not wanting to, you know, give more or refer,
mm-hmm,
things of that, showing up late,
mm-hmm.
thinking that if Ladosha comes in for an undercut, she doesn't want to pay for the full cut because Ladosha feels like, well, you just cutting the size. I'm not about to pay you $30 just to cut. You got me messed up, bruh or
Mm-hmm.
girl.
Right. Right. Well, here's the thing. If your perception is one, I gotta get this money, you are already setting yourself up that you have to take it from somebody. Somebody's not willing to give it to you.
But you need money, Cheryl. So help the students
No.
understand.
But right. When you start out with you are a provider, that customer is someone who pays you. But when you start out with a hustle mentality, you're already saying, I got to get this money instead of understanding that the customer wants to give you the money. If you focus on the service and the customer's benefit, but hustler mentality is so wrapped up in what you're getting. You are a giver. You are a service provider. And if it's not based on how much you're giving, you're already going to believe and send out the message into the marketplace that you have to steal it. You have to get it. You have to take it. You have to compete with people that you actually really don't know because hustlers have all kind of competition that they don't even see, right? And that kind of mentality disavows you from your actual contribution that you are giving to your community. You're not paying attention to it. You're paying attention to your pocket. You're paying attention to the things that are the result of your giving, the result of your service, the result of your contribution, not you're taking it first and then focusing, because that is takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of hard work. It takes, it's a mindset thing. And I'm just saying, for a student, when they first start out, try to be void and try to avoid that kind of energy as you approach money, benefits, tips. People want to give you something when you're good, especially
Hmm.
when you give something. So if you don't like what you're getting, change what you're giving. That's my.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, what's up, Instagram family? We see you guys in the chat. We're so glad that you are joining us here on our 16th episode of So You Think You Can Do Hair. And our topic this morning, this afternoon, is all about the hustler versus the mentality. Now, Cheryl, I'm just going to keep leaning in with Von the Beautician because, it sounds like this is a socioeconomic. So the example that you just gave about bringing more than just, your talent and what you can do.
No, what?
Now,
Right.
okay. Now, is this a hood thing? Because my barbershop is down the way. No, I'm take that back. Let me back up. My barbershop, my hair salon is down the way.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a whole different culture from where Kilolo is up there doing hair. Also, my school, the type of people that the school is bringing in, I mean, how am I supposed to practice that when, we only got so much time and I'm trying to get out there because I'm about to rent this loft or I'm going to go work into this shop and I'm trying to get that chair,
Mm-hmm.
so help me, with the culture of who are these people? Like, is that something just for suburbanites or people down the way, or can they get with what you're saying? How can me, as a person coming from everyday America, I'm not just gonna pick on the hood, but how can we fit into that example that you just gave? When in the hood, I don't really think people down the way really. I think they just try to hustle me, so I'm
Absolutely.
gonna hustle them. That's just how I personally feel.
Right. When you're a student, especially, that's like the best time, I feel, in your career that you'll ever have, right? Because of course, when those customers come inside of the beauty school, they are there to um, basically have you make them look better, make them feel better, make them somehow all the wonderful stuff so they can feel better about themselves. That's
Sure. Sure,
basically.
I got kids in my chair. The average person coming to the beauty school is these mamas with all these kids, these little
Right.
boys, these little
Now,
girls. And they
you.
ain't even, and then they don't check this out, Cheryl. They don't want the full thing. They just want the line up. So help me, help us with
Let me
that.
ask you a question.
And then we're
So
gonna talk
if
about the hair salon. All they want is the braids. They don't even want no hairstyles no
well,
more.
why
So
would a
how?
I know, but why would a hustler care if they're a hustler?
Well, I'm just trying to answer I'm just speaking into what
Right,
you're
right, right, right.
saying about bringing my best. I'm bringing my best to a 5-year-old. I mean,
Of
a
course,
10-year-old with snotty nose. I mean, they
well,
won't sit still.
you'll bring your best to a dead person when if you're a mortician. What difference does that make? We are professionals. That's where you're getting ready to take your career into. You are a professional. People, by the time they take your card and they are saying, "Oh, this person's going to give me a specific service." Now, what you do. Now, remember guys, you are your best customer. You are a customer. You go into a department store. When you pick up a package and you order something from Amazon. How you read the reviews. You do the same thing. So there is not the rules don't change because you decide to be a clinician and now you are a service provider. It doesn't change. So if you have certain expectations and you like going out to eat and you remember that maitre d' that said, "Oh, you're a little late, but I have the perfect table for you." You know how you feel when people go beyond the average. You know that. You
Okay,
must do
so
the
you
same,
gonna tell me a
same.
10-year-old get that? A 10-year-old can get with that?
A 10-year-old, let's just say, how would you want your 10-year-old to be treated? I mean, it's like you're not outside of the dynamic. And so once you understand, you remember people who treat you nice. You remember that waitress every time you go in there. You do remember that. You are your best customer. You know when you call QVC and if you lost the receipt or somebody says, "Girl, don't worry about it. Just leave it here. I'll go back and get you another one. I know you. You are that now. You're that person who is able to duplicate and pass on that wonderful service that you've received.
But as a
Not outside of
hairstylist, I'm leaving school. That sounds so
that's not.
corny.
And you know what that
That's a
sounds
little
like?
corny.
No,
To,
no, you
to,
know what that sounds like? That sounds like you're not getting ready to learn a bad habit. Because once you learn the bad habit, it is easier to learn something new than to unlearn something old. And you don't want to get into that. And the
mm.
podcast here today is to keep you from developing habits that once you get into the sophomore and junior and senior year of your careers, you won't have to undo those. You'll just be accumulating because one customer has a mother, an aunt, a sister, a daughter, a son, a husband. They have these people in the moment, and believe me, they're not looking for the best cutter. They're not looking for the best color. They're not looking for that. They're looking to get what they expect and for you guys to be absolutely wonderful with customer service. That's what they're looking for. And they'll come back and back and back. They'll refer you and all the things, especially when you ask for a referral.
And
But
you saying that the money, the socioeconomic, the neighborhood, the population that comes to the school, the barbershop, the loft, the hair salon, the beat face spa, the nails, that doesn't really play into
if
much.
those things come, then let them come organically because at that point, you will be getting those because you are good, because you are contributing. When you get them because you've hustled, you got 7, 8 years of that. That's not sustainable.
But it seems like my bills, though, Cheryl, Kilolo, my bills are coming faster,
Mhm.
just a
Oh,
little bit faster
but I
than
don't see
my
I don't see it.
professional. Not kind of. It seemed
Yeah,
like
I
my
don't.
hustle got my cell phone bill paid when I was hustling, but then when I tried to move just a little bit
But they're not
into
one. They're
what
not
you're talking
opposite.
about,
Yeah, they're not opposite. See, I don't know why hustling is out when back again to the definition of a hustler. A hustler is not necessarily paying their bills, guys. I don't know why you guys think all hustlers are making money. I don't.
Can I get a bomb drop? What's up, Mika, in the chat? The chat getting full now. That's a bomb drop. Can you say that one more time? A hustler is what?
A hustler is not necessarily making money.
That part. That part.
What do you think? Now, let me ask you a question. If they trade time for time for money, and you are using other means to get the same money, who's losing money? A person that's overexerting themselves trying to talk about their hustling, or a person who is understanding that if I pour into that customer and ask them to pour back into me and back into my business, and actually they will do it. But if you
Yeah.
thinking
You know,
that people don't do things for you and won't do things for you, you keep going into the marketplace like you have to take something from people. You don't have to do that.
right. I agree. Whenever I, bring someone into the reference design team, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
3-step process. So one, you have to make application. You literally have to complete an application. I need to know what your goals are, what your thoughts are. That's number one. You got to make application.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, you have to come and spend one day on the busiest day in the salon just to get a feel for the environment. Because what I find is that a lot of times when it comes to selecting where you want to work, it may not fit what you think that environment is going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for sure that that has saved me a lot of headache
Right.
and that person a lot of misuse or waste of their time in a space where they wish they kind of maybe tested the water. So, for example, when working with Afro textured hair, one of the biggest, I'm talking about the number one reason a person will not work at the Rivers Design Team Hair Salon, they can't comb that goddamn on Afro. And once they realize how much physical strength, how much poise, how much
Yes.
confidence, how
Yes.
much eye contact, how much body odor,
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about every part, y'all, because it's all in these folks' face.
Right. Right.
uh, the time
Wow.
once they realize that this customer is really paying attention to the way you literally introduced yourself and touched me, that is the ultimate game changer
Absolutely.
because they're always looking for, so what you want did today, and that is not allowed. We never ask that question in our salon. And then the third thing is that they're going to get a 90-day, we call it carpe diem. And
Mm-hmm.
in that, the first question I asked them, now that they've had made application
Mm-hmm.
and now they spent 1 day, I asked them to complete the sentence. Now I want you guys in the chat,
Oh boy.
including Instagram, complete them sentences. Going back to what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
People genuinely want to see me, and you end the sentence.
Mm.
As a barber, a nail tech, a cosmetologist, or esthetician, complete the sentence. People
Mm-hmm.
genuinely,
Mm-hmm.
they want to see me. Now let's see who's going to
Mm-hmm.
drop one word in the chat. Tell me, what do you think people genuinely? I see you, Instagram. Come on, y'all. Rock it out with us. Help us out. What do people genuinely want to see you? And you fill in the blank. And I just find this to be really important because that's going to tell me as their mentor, because I ain't nobody's boss. I
Uh-oh.
ain't doing that. I'm not housing no people. Ain't no plantation up in here. So I need to know your mindset. All right. So no one has put it in the chat just yet. So the response that I get, so sure, you answer the question. People as a let's say you're fresh out of cosmetology school, and someone asks you, Cheryl, as a newly licensed professional, you're in your first day here at the salon.
Mm-hmm.
People genuinely want to see you what?
Oh, as a cosmetologist.
Mm-hmm. They want to see you what?
Oh, you said fill it
Yeah,
in with those four
yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah. Fill in like a one word. They want to see you what? Happy, or just something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen.
People want to see that you are listening to them. Okay. Yes. Okay. That's a good one, and that's where we're going, and
Okay.
that falls under succeed.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
One thing. That's the one thing. Now, I grew up in the hood. I'm talking about
Okay.
down the way. I'm talking about Boomer Sister when Genki was in
Absolutely.
98. Oh, I'm talking about, murder, 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 kill, kill, kill. You know what I'm saying? Why dot dang the hood, okay? And in the hood, I will always hear ninjas are like crabs in the bucket.
Oh.
Every time they try to see you succeed, they pull you down. So entering the world of cosmetology as a salon owner, coming with a hood mentality. But remember now, I have this degree as an outreach worker. And it's a really big disconnect because in the salon environment, the employment pool that I
Mm-hmm.
was pulling from, it was so hood. But then I had this professional side. I was like, listen, Mika and Vaughn and Theo and everybody on Instagram. Mo Money, Alpha Female, um, Laura Cohen, Only One Miler. I'm really struggling with how I'm going to make this happen. And one of the things that I noticed was that people genuinely, they wanted me to make it.
Mm.
And they kept saying, "How can I help you? And what do you need?" And I'm like, I'm struggling here. And so I was ready to approach it with a hustler mentality because the first salon I went to make application, I had my little suit on. They laughed at me. It was on 79th and 79th and Superior. I can't remember the name, but it was a very, very popular salon. And I had my little suit on, I had my briefcase, and they laughed at me. And so that was like, okay, I gotta come at this like, I gotta come in like Key Lolo, and so that to me is what I was seeing as a salon owner. Now I had to craft an environment where people genuinely wanted to see people succeed. And a lot of people to this date, every time I ask someone that question, they always say, people genuinely want to see me um um like like struggle. People, they hating, they struggle that, you really think a person is going to come in here and don't want to see you make it. But they really feel like they're coming in the industry, they knuckled up. They ready. It's me against the world.
Absolutely. Well,
But
that's the mentality in the moniker. And if you really look at it and you hear it, now that you say it back to me, you're expecting not to win.
right.
The very nature of a hustler is that it's me against the world, and I gotta take. You have to make people. You have to make yourself a thief almost, like
Mm-hmm.
you're taking something from somebody. That's the very nature. And what we're saying, and what Miss Ladosha is saying, there is no honor in having a mentality of seeing people who are going to give you their hard-earned money and to not some way understand that it's a fair exchange. It's reciprocity. They are wanting something from you, and they're happy to compensate you for it.
Yeah, and I think that when I had opened, now remember, now I didn't really want to open a hair salon.
Yeah, you
I
said
only I only got the license so that as a outreach worker and working with people with their hair, I felt professionally and
right.
ethically. It would be so wrong for me to be talking to people about hair and not be licensed.
Right.
I did. I know, Mick. I know you like really how noble. No, for real.
No.
I mean, y'all know me. I'm the super A student. I'm the teacher's pet. So I want to do everything right. When the IRS call, I'll be like, how much I owe you? So I'll be trying
She,
to get them their money. You know what I'm saying? I
guys, she's
mean,
actually a very good student.
I mean,
She has in the
I just
Afro
was
Hair
like,
Science Summit. She on point.
I just couldn't see myself as an outreach worker giving advice about hair because that's how I was working with the families. I was using hair to get them to come
Right.
to the parenting and anger management
Wow.
workshops, right?
Wow.
And so when my boss said, you might be onto something, I couldn't really make the connection. Who in the hell would want to come to a hair salon to learn how to do their own hair? Anybody out there feeling me?
Mm.
And my boss was like, well, maybe there's a niche. I'm like, a niche? What's that, lice? I didn't even know. I'm serious. I'm like 30, and I did not know what niche meant. I'm just telling my truth. This
Right.
is my story.
Absolutely.
I didn't even know what niche meant. And so she told me, it's a specialty. That's an area that maybe the beauty industry, and as an outreach worker, we call that falling through the gaps. Maybe in your industry, there are clients and customers who are falling through the gaps where they're not getting any education. How about you do that? And I was like, this nigga crazy as hell. This nigga crazy. And I said, people with these degrees, they out there, they take these degrees too damn For I was really like, girl, bye.
Right.
But like, what kind of black person? I mean, because now I'm Key Lolo. I'm like, listen, nah, you really bugging. And she said, give it a try. And to your point, Cheryl, you have to bring what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You have to bring the best of you. So I always start off with the truth.
Yeah.
I am not the best hairstylist. Now, Mika on the chat, like, your hair look good, girl. This is, Okay, now me talking about do some LOC, girl, bye. That is not going to happen. So I tell the truth, I am not the best hairstylist, but I will teach you how to do your own hair. And I'm a pretty good colorist, and that's where it ends. Now, if you want your hair did, you need to go see Sir Pooh. You need to go see Spritz. You need to go see Christopher Blue. Them's hairstylists. I'm Key Lolo. Okay. And so that hustler, it just kind of went away. But now it was trying to find other professionals who wanted to help people too.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a
And
big
that, and
compete.
that is so much more sustainable. That is being able to pour into, that's a business, see. And now you can teach that.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that, and as much as we love the bomb.com diggity bad ass hairstylist, you can't pass it on. It does stop with you. You can teach them the techniques, but gifted hands are just what they are, gifted hands, and they belong to that one person. That's exclusive.
And I think that's what people like. Don't you guys in the chat agree? I mean, that's the beauty. I remember there was this young girl and she could do these tree braids. God, I can't remember her name, but she was in the army. And I'm talking about, I ain't gonna lie, she probably the coldest in Cleveland. Hell, she
Oh,
probably the coldest in the world. I can't remember her name, but she had the advertisement in this hair book like on lockdown. And I
mm-hmm.
worked with her at Stefano and Company Salon. And me and Hattie Mae, that's my best friend. We had never seen this before, right? Because I'm telling y'all, in the hood, only thing I know is like sit between your legs, hold your head over, put some grease on the back of your hand, okay? That's about a perfect. And so she had this technique. I don't know what it was, but Hattie Mae and I, we were looking like, whoa, wow. And she turned to us and was like, I don't want nobody standing over my shoulders, looking over me, trying to steal my technique. And we was like,
Mm-hmm.
speak to that.
Mm-hmm. That's a typical of a hustler, and a hustler is very focused on DOING, doing. The doing part of your career will probably be now, and I'm talking about y'all students now, and maybe 8 years from now. Doing is very hard on your body because you are standing there for 8 to 9 hours a day. It is not physically possible to do it at the level of those first 0 to 8 years. You may do it 20, but you will not do the last 20 like the first 20. In the first 20, in the first 10, the first 10 is your revenue generating years. The second 10 should be your business building years. So you can physically kind of walk yourself away from the doing and get on the business portion, classes and courses, expertise, and the mentality of that particular braider is that she could not see her doing beyond her. So if she could have understood, if some people could take her home and watch her video, film, DVD, CD, because I'm sure that was a while ago, right? So the DVD
Mm-hmm.
out. So she didn't see that. She saw only her standing behind the chair, keeping her world small, keeping it to herself. She saw that
Right.
as the only mechanism in which she could make money. That is not sustainable. That's the habit that So You Think You Can Do Hair podcast is trying to keep you from. It
Right.
is teaching you that niche, perfect it, and then make your money, revenue, show up on time, do customer service, render. Then you have families and all this wonderful clientele. Then you have to start working on giving a piece of yourself that does not require you to be there
Mm.
in order for people to enjoy it or to have it. You start training junior and sophomore, assistants. The
Mm.
point is that your first 0 to 8 after you graduate is your revenue generating. You can physically do it. After that, the first part you're working in it. Second half you're working on it, and then you are still excited, passionate, fun. You find your career because you're expanding and moving on.
Okay.
Sticking to that, keep sticking into that physical after 12, 15, 20, 25. You're no longer going to enjoy it. It's going to turn very laborious, and you're
Mm-hmm.
going to eventually probably
Burnout.
burn out, and then you're going to be going to do something else less taxing on your physicality, and you're going to probably be doing that for money.
All right. So, within that framework, Von the Beautician wants to know what days are busiest or busy in the beauty and barber industry. But before you answer that question, can you show them how to hit that thumbs up button, because the chat is really on fire. So Cheryl's going to show you guys what you can do to help us
Take that
be
finger.
America's favorite podcast about Afro hair. Show them how to do it,
Come
Cheryl.
on. Press it. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Okay. So now, Vaughn the beautician wants to know, what are like the busiest days, or what does the busiest day look like? Because that is something. Now I recall this too. I worked in one hair salon, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, the salon owner did not want people to see the salon on a slow day. So, what is the big hoopla about busiest days and slow days, which would be a great topic, by the way? We can
Ooh,
talk about that
really,
a
really,
little bit
really
more
good.
next. We'll talk about that Von the beautician. We're going to go more into that, but talk about the busiest and the slow days.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Which
I'm gonna ask you guys a couple of questions because, of course, I think Kilolo is more apt to answer that. If you guys are thinking the way I'm thinking, read her question. I'm working.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go back. Uh-huh.
Okay, she says I'm working my full-time job. I'm going to start setting aside Saturday
Mm-hmm.
for the day I can take clients. I don't, and this is specific to students, and I don't
Okay.
know, Vaughn, you probably are much more experienced. Or are you coming back into the industry? Sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I will say that I did not have a lot of walk-ins. I did not even have a lot of people. My Saturdays were not the busiest. Actually, they were the slowest. And I designed them that way because I needed a 3-day weekend, right? And if you notice, people who do work 7 days or 5, at least 6 days a week, they don't want to sit in the salon all day on Saturday. They got things to do. They got grocery things that they can't do in the weekend. So I try to incentivize Wednesdays and Thursdays. Um, and I would probably do an evening shift so they can come in and relax after work. We do happy hour. So I thought about it. And also you can decide that your Wednesdays can be your Saturdays because most people do 2 weeks before they come back. And you want their 2 weeks to land on a Wednesday and Thursday. You don't want their 7 days or their 2 weeks to be landing on Saturday. And because Monday usually is a day where hairstylists do have the lightest day because they're doing administrative work and they're doing classes and courses and meetings with their staff, if that's still what you guys do. But I will, I like the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, late evenings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say, to be honest, um, well, because we don't take walk-ins now, this is kind of slighted, a little bit. It's slanted or slighted or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We don't take walk-ins. I find that if you do appointments only, you will book a lot faster than if
Mm-hmm.
you just opened up. Now you could take walk-ins, but you have to be really skilled. Think
Mm-hmm.
of yourself like
I would agree.
a doctor working in the ER room. That means anything could come into that emergency room, and that physician on call, I don't know what that technical term is, has to be able to handle a gunshot wound, a cold,
Mm-hmm.
a heart attack, you name it, whatever. They've got to
ER.
be able
Yeah.
to handle just about, or manage. They may not physically, but they're going to have to manage all the crises that come in, even those that are not an emergency. Like me yesterday, my nose is trying to get your ass out of here. Um, hey, I'm a Scorpio. What can I say? So I would not, if you are not skilled, do not take walk-ins because you're not prepared for that type of a demand. A walk-in, I mean, think to the mentality of a person who doesn't bother to schedule time for themselves and they want you to work this miracle and you may not be skilled. Now, if you are skilled, go for what you know. But if you're leaving cosmetology school, and be careful. I know a lot of salons like to do that to new people to get you guys acclimated with being busy, but
Mm.
that can be very intimidating. So I would say, Vaughn, for your busy day, pre-book, encourage your clients to pre-book, tell them what the benefits are. And like Cheryl said, if you know that Ladosha is coming every 2 weeks to get her hair washed, blow dried, pressed out, or washed and fluffed, or whatever, undercut. Tell her the benefits if she books that a standing for like 3 months block.
That's
That
right.
way, you know you have that income coming. You can call or text Ladosha and say, "Hey, Ladosha, a friendly reminder: your appointment is coming up on Saturday." That
That's
is going to be your best bet. And before you know it, somebody will say, "Oh, Vaughn, I want to book with you on Saturday." You'll say, "I'm booked out." Then once you book out, am I right, Cheryl?
absolutely.
It's the perfect way to begin to automatically raise your prices because now you know you have value because you're booked. So say you have Saturday, you're say Vaughn, you have about 4 people on Saturday, right? And you have that maybe that 9 o'clock is like, oh, like 15 minutes behind, or maybe she was just a little, I don't know. And then someone called and said, can you do me at 7:30, and you can raise your price now and say my price is now $80. Now that 9 o'clock just kind of act a little flaky. You can move that new $90 down into that spot, and when her 3 months up, that third visit is up, you can say, "Oh, I'm booked out."
Mhm.
And now
You
you've
know,
gotten rid of that customer that, what, now you have someone who's paying you more. They see your value. So it's a smooth transition. It's less confrontational. Um, and it just fits your lifestyle as you build. And sure, you were gonna say.
no, and sometimes, you know, some clients, I wouldn't say all, but some clients who are, like you said, are those automatic walk-ins or they're automatic is calling up. Those are only going to be blow dries and wet sets, right? And you incentivize them and you come in after happy hour. And happy hour is just a little $15 more, right? You
Mm-hmm.
know, and then they will, like you said, then they'll probably come weekly. because I had a lot of weeklies
Oh yeah.
because they were professionals.
Mm-hmm. We
And
have all kinds every 2 weeks, once a month, once a year. People book out next year. Some people book for the whole year. We only take a few prepaid. We have some. Can I prepay for the whole year? It varies. So go ahead, Cheryl.
and it sounds like Vaughn the beautician has a lot of, and she's just starting. You can be so much more choosier,
Mm-hmm.
so much more choosy because you are still have a job, right? And so you have an income. And I don't know what city you live in, but girl, do you know how many clients I just in terms of off the cuff? If I don't know what city, but there's conferences coming up. There's um, people who want to go date night, and they have to get in. Sometimes you can't get to go see Key Low Low, or you can't go into. You want to be that last 5 minutes, and you want to do those. You know what I mean? Them $35 blow dries. I mean, and refresh, spray that hair, and this. You don't even have to, even wet it all down. You just come in here and get a fresh. You just want that bump, that fresh look, and I did conventions, people who were out of town and they didn't know anybody in there. So I made sure that conference and that
Mm-hmm.
tourist and that conference, they knew that I was basically there. You have your concierge in your hotels. They have a lot of black guests, and especially biracial guests that don't really trust anybody. They don't even trust the products.
Right. And you
And
know what?
yeah,
Hotels,
yeah,
we get phone calls all the time. All the time. Make sure your customers write reviews, even while you're in school. Even while you are in school, have your customer write you a review. I would say more than a cash tip, get the written review. Because to Cheryl's point, I cannot tell you how many other businesses,
mm-hmm.
colleges, universities, hotels, parking companies,
Girl.
their managers are looking to send their customers to hair salons and barbershops. We can't even handle it, okay?
Yeah.
Why? Because they see the review. So when they ask for a tip, how much can I give you a tip? I always say, no tip. Uh,
Thank
could you
you.
please take a moment and write me a review or just rate the salon? And that will put you on the radar to get you more quality referrals, Vaughn. And you would be surprised how many managers and supervisors and their own, because all these companies now have social media people, and this is their job. Am I correct, Cheryl?
Let me tell you something. The best friend is, like you said, hotel concierge, college campuses. And I mean, it's just, and you can be so much more creative, Vaughn, because you have, you know, because
Take
you have a revenue already, and you just be so much more creative. You know what I mean? And let me just say this: as much as they are, um, and the review, girl, Ladosha, you hit that one, Key Love Love. You hit that one because at the end of the day, we are trying to restructure our reputation here, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So the review is power, and I definitely can't even stress that enough. But concierge at hotels and concierge in your city, I want y'all to count it. Come on, y'all. In your city, and I don't know where you guys are. I want you guys to understand who comes in your city a year, and then find out the demographics of who are biracial, multicultural textures, or whatever the case may be, or black hair care, or black women versus black men. Make sure you're on their registry. Make sure you're on their list. Make sure you call
Mm-hmm.
the concierge and say, I am also willing to be able to even come to their room.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And there's
please do this, guys.
a lot of event planners that have weddings, and so you guys can get real creative. You don't necessarily have to just go out here cold turkey like a telemarketer and get all your high blood pressure, all stressed out. You don't have to get stressed out. Get creative. Don't get stressed out. Get creative.
And you know what? You never know who's watching. True story. So my client was getting married. Remember, I can't do hair now. I keep telling y'all this not what I do. So she wanted to bring the entire wedding party to the salon. I said, "Well, now I can press you out, put some grease on there, but I can't do no wedding updos." So this is Spritz Lane, right? So we had Dr. Spritz oversee the wedding party coordination. So sometimes you guys, as students, you got to fall back and work as a team and stop hustling. Now, yes,
Stop hustling.
Spritz did get the money.
Right.
We're not going to deny he was the man. And
Right.
we got some of his singles. We ain't gonna lie, okay? But Spritz coordinated where we all could get paid off of this wedding party, okay? And you know what happened at the end? I'm not making this up. A photographer just so happened to be walking past, saw the wedding party, which was very culturally diverse, and thought these people are absolutely beautiful in their authentic selves. So Spritz had made sure the Indian girl looked Indian, and the white country girl had her white country Taylor Swift look, and the bride had her Isabel Wickerson look. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is what he did. He's good at this. And you know what happened? The salon made the cover of the magazine. And everybody got what? An honorable mention. That goes into your portfolio. That ups your cost a lot. Now,
Give yourself a big hand.
a big can. Okay. Now, I'm just telling you guys now,
Big hand.
Fritz was, he was the center of the article. All right. Thank you. You're right. Thank you. Because if you're a hustler, you're like, well, now calm down now. Remember, we're saying as hustlers, it's not where it's at because it's only for the moment. That magazine article is in perpetuity. It never goes away. It's online. You can
frame it.
Yeah.
You put it on your media page and pin it to the top, right?
Yeah.
And then it goes into your email direct marketing, direct to your email list. And it's just all types of wonderful things that you could possibly do. So
yeah.
Good job, Kilolo.
Right. And so these are some of the things that hustlers probably won't get to do. Yeah, you might get that one phone call, LeBron James or Denzel. They may. I mean, it has happened. I've had the opportunity.
Yes.
That's not my lane, though. That's not my lane. I'm just saying, hustlers get hustled.
Stupid games win.
So be careful with your hustling.
Yeah.
As we wrap this up, this was a very, very lively discussion. We want to remind each and every student, instructor, and school owner that if this content was very applicable and you found that you would like to have some more support, the Afro Hair Science Summit is happening this year in 2024. But in addition to that, you guys can email Cheryl, Morrow, and I at afrohairscience@gmail.com with your questions. And, we'll answer some things for you. We also have some free tech support, all types of wonderful support beyond this Afro Hair Science platform. Cheryl, Morrow, and I, we are here for you because we understand just how passionate you are about really, really making a difference in the lives of others with the talent that you have behind and what Cheryl said, beyond the chair. Okay.
Beyond the chair.
Yeah. So, Cheryl, we're going to come back next week just for you, Vaughn. We're going to focus on busy days and slow days in the hair salon. We got to talk about that because that does come up a lot, and you guys are about to finish school, and you need to know busy days, slow days, what to do. Okay. So Cheryl, close us out with a wonderful school of thought about hustlers versus a professional.
Well, like I said, I think you said it, man. You said it so best, and I think that hustlers would never slow down enough to ask, "How was your service? Did you enjoy it?" Yes, I really did. Okay, would you mind right now writing me a review? Absolutely. Everybody in the world of markets ask you. You can't go to a cashier and say, and they write on their seat and they circle it and they say, "Will you do that survey for me and put my name down?" And hustlers are just not often, humble. Once you're humble and just ask for it, they'll be more than happy to do it. And so that's the key to just asking for what you want and making sure that you expect them to do it for you, because I think they want to, especially when they get a good service.
Yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I would like to thank everybody on Instagram for chiming in with us. We will be back this evening at 6 o'clock on the dumbest shit that people say. I'm talking about some dumb shit.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, we talking about them dang on kitty hair care products. They want to know, how do we choose the kitty hair care products for the boys? Because remember, the month of June is all about boys and men. And so we have our last male interview with, this is the interview I'm waiting on. I was
That
just,
is
I was
awesome.
drooling all over Danny. I know he's like, girl, leave me alone. I ain't gonna leave you alone, Danny. Sorry, get over it. But the last one we have is this gentleman here. His name is Hosea Hicks. He's
That's
a
on Pluto.
cosmetologist. That's who?
Okay. That's on the Pluto.
Yes. And so he's going to be with us on Thursday. The gentleman over here with the hat down, Mr. Hosea Hicks. And he is going to discuss with us, why do women prefer men hairstylists? We're going to do the battle of the sexes.
Oh
We're
yeah.
going there. I want to know.
Going there. We done.
We gonna go there because Spritz be killing the game. Sir Pooh killing it. Chuck killing it. Chris Stefano. I can just keep going, name after name after name after name.
That's right.
These guys is killing the game. And so well, I want to know what's up with that. And so that's gonna happen. Mm-hmm.
That's happening Thursday.
That's happening Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. And then tonight we're going to be talking about the best kitty shampoos. What does that mean for the boys? That's going to happen this evening. And so we'll be back next Monday just for you, Von the Beautician. And we're going to discuss busy and slow days at the hair salon. You know what we say when we're signing out, right, guys? Good, better, best. Never, ever let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. And don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe to the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel. And we appreciate you guys' support so much. We'll be back tonight at 6 o'clock p.m. Thanks, Cheryl. You're the bomb.com.
Oh, you too.
So, you think you can do hair? Then join us every Monday at 12 o'clock on the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel.